Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hey! Today we're gonna do the how to make baddies guy version. I know this is a long awaited video, so I'm happy to finally get it out. And before we begin, make sure you have your pencil, your Apple pencil, or any other dupe you can find it on Amazon. We need accuracy. I know some people said they use their fingers, but please invest in a pen for better accuracy. Now, I know some people may not have Procreate, so I'm just going to share with you our dimensions so you can have a similar ratio with our animals. Our canvas size dimension will be 2160 by 1620 pixel, and on Procreate it's just the first option, which is screen size. The reason why I showed the pixels and the canvas size is because I actually put on my website a little template that you can use to compare your character size. We're gonna see that in a minute, but I'm just trying to figure out what character I want to make. And I was like, you know what? I want to make Susie's brother, so I picked Susie Sheep's character. If you want to find characters and all that good stuff, I have it on FunBlindBag.com, but I just want to show you that if you follow everything that I did on screen, you can actually get your template from there, and this is what you need to give yourself an idea of how tall your character is going to be. Now, if you don't want to do all of this, that's fine. I can figure out your character size on my own. And just to let you know, I figure out the size of your character by their head size. I don't want them to be like super dramatically small or super dramatically big. If that does happen, I'll still accept them, but the chances of them being in a lot of episodes may be slim, just because I want everyone to look like they're a part of one universe instead of people being like, aliens on the show, if that makes sense. So as you can see, we have our head cut out, and we have a lot of different references at the side because again, we're making a guy character. So go on Google and find guy characters that you think are the way that you want your character to look and use them as a reference. To start our face, we're going to clear the whole face by making a ring around the face or a little circle encapsulating the old image, and at the top right you're going to click and drag into the circle, and as you can see, that is how you fill in objects with a color. And it's so funny because I'm the type of person that doesn't like tutorials, so I've been using Procreate in the beginning without knowing how to fill, but that is how you fill in objects with a color. So then I realized that I colored over the nose, so I'm just gonna erase it. I would suggest leaving the nose in the OG format, but if you want to change it to however you want, that's totally fine as well. After we have our clear base, I'm gonna show you the easiest way that I shade my characters. If you've seen the first or second tutorial, you'll see that I was actually putting in my sweat and blood and tears into making the shadows, but all you need to do is just make your quick little line and then go to Gaussian blur. After you click Gaussian blur, you're gonna click on the page and swash it to the right, and as you can see, it makes a perfect shadow. And in the beginning, I was drawing in the, like, not shadow, the, what is it called? The contour, yeah. I had to draw the contour and use the smudge tool. As you can see, I'm smudging it right now, but the way that I showed you just now how to do it, it's so much easier. Gaussian blur is your tool that you will love on Procreate. So after I do the contour, I just took out Susie Sheep's mom, aka Mrs. Sheep, because I don't want my guy character to look too much like Susie. I want there to be a little resemblance to the mom. So I'm just looking at her eyes. It's a little, let me find the word, deep set slash downturned eyes. And I want to make sure that the brother has that resemblance to the mom. Now you're gonna see me speed run through the eyes for a little while because there's some small changes that I'm gonna do with the line art, and I'm just gonna be going back and forth with my liquify tool to make sure that I get the lines as accurate as I want it to look. And don't feel bad if you feel like your line art is not the best. In a couple of minutes or so, I'm going to show you how you can edit your brush so that it can be a little more stabilized when you draw. Now, even though you may have to stabilize put up to like max 100, maybe sometimes you don't like the line, so I'm going in with the liquify tool to clean up any lines that I don't really like. Now, you'll notice that I don't actually copy the lips from like an image for the guys, I draw it myself. But if you don't want to draw the lips, you can definitely copy the lips from an image if that's what you prefer. So again, after I draw the lips, I go in with the liquify tool to clean up anything. If I don't like the shape, I can just rearrange it real quick to my desire. After I do the top lip, I'm gonna go in with another layer and do the bottom lip and get the Gaussian blur and blur out the bottom lip. And yeah, that's how I make the lips. You're gonna see throughout this tutorial I'm reshaping things with the liquify tool a lot, and I love the liquify tool. If I didn't have it, then I don't know what I would do. Next, we're gonna do the eye. I like to get an image of an eye. I don't draw it myself many times. And this is a white character, so instead of using the color white, I'm just gonna start off with black just so I can see where the lines are gonna end up, just so it doesn't end up outside of the skin. And then I'm gonna change it white just so I know, okay, it's not anywhere else but in the eye. And after that, you're gonna notice that I drag the eye above, and I'm going to click clip mask, and as you can see, it's only showing up in the whites of the eye. And this is how I edit my character's eyes so that it's only ending up in the whites of the eye. Notice how it's not outside, it's not above the eyelid or below it, it's only in the whites. And another thing that I started to do was add a little shading above the eye, above the whites of the eye, just to give it more depth. I don't know, that's something that you can do as well, but if you don't want to do that, that's totally optional. It's up to you. So after I do all of that, I'm just reshaping the face. I don't know why, but I like slender eyes on my guys. I'm trying my best not to make all of my guys look the same, but I noticed that, you know, that's starting to happen, so I'm gonna cut that out after this last guy character. And to help your characters not look the same, it's always good to use references of pictures that don't have the same features. So after this, I'm definitely going to look for some guy characters with, you know, different shapes of eyes so everyone's not looking the same. Not only with the eyes, but the lips as well. I know a lot of my characters, they have bigger lips. And I guess because, you know, I have big lips, I guess I subconsciously put myself in my art. So, you know, I'll try my best to, you know, make everyone look a little different. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just switching stuff up a lot. The liquify tool is definitely being used a lot in this tutorial because it's just a really nice friend when it comes to, you know, making quick little changes to your artwork. So now that I'm done with the face, I'm gonna move on to the outfit. And I like to find my outfits on like Google or any search engines, but there's another way that you can find outfits. You can go on websites that you shop at. He's not gonna wear this red outfit, but I'm just letting you know that you can just copy the images from a shopping website that you like, and then we're gonna go to Cut. I can't see it on my screen right now, but I'll blow up the image so you can see it better, so you can go to that website, and you're just gonna upload your image, and then you're gonna click download. After you click download, I'm on my iPad, so I like to click view and then hold on to the image and then click save photo, and it will save it to your photo gallery. After you do that, again, remember in the beginning we already set the height. You just move the head wherever you want the person's height to be at, and then line up your character body to make it match the head. Now the heads of my characters, they're bigger than the body. It's not like a human head where the human head is small, so hopefully you guys can, make your characters follow this, like, the way that I make the characters, so everyone can have like a similar look, if that makes any sense. And I'm just going to change the hoodie below so it can fit his big head. And after I do that, I'm gonna move on to the feet, because I notice that sometimes people get images but the feet are cut off. All you can do is just go in with the liquify tool and just shape the feet so it doesn't look like it's cut off anymore. So now that we're done fixing up the feet, now we're going to move on to filling in any of the skin that's showing. So using the head, we're going to choose the stencil of the head, the darker color, and we're going to trace around the hand. You're going to notice that as I draw my hands, or the outline of the hands, you're going to notice that I'm not really erasing a lot. My stabilization, I'll just show you real quickly how to change that. Just click your brush 2 times, then go to stabilization, and you're going to change the amount. Mine's is at 39, but if you need it to go a little up to make your lines a little smoother, then you can definitely do that, and this will make your drawing process so much easier if you have a problem with stabilization. So with the same tricks and tips that we learned when it came to shading in the face, you want to do the same thing with the body. And notice how I took away the white color so I can see where all the shadows is or are on the actual hand. This is a trick that I love to do when it comes to shading in my body, because I don't have to guess where the shadows and where the highlights are at. Now, you might not see the highlights too much on our sheep character because he does have white skin, but don't forget about your highlights as well on your non-white characters. So now that we finished doing our body, now we're gonna move on to the hair. And for the hair, you can draw it on if you want, but I like to get an image off of like Google or anywhere, and I like cutting out the hair instead of drawing it. Now, if I do draw in the hair, it's like little flyaways just to make it feel a little more realistic. But anywho, after I cut out the hair, I'm going to go in with a like feathered brush and just brush off the corners just a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with our liquify tool and just shape the hair to the head, like sculpt it. You're going to notice that throughout the video, his hair is going to change, and whenever I'm designing my character, I'm always thinking about, okay, what situation are they in? And as you can see, or as you heard from the beginning, this is Susie's brother, and he's actually incarcerated right now. So he's not gonna really have the chance to stylize his hair the way that he wants it. By the end of the video, you're gonna notice that his hair is it's cut lower because he buzz cuts his hair in prison. Now, as you can see here, I just opened up another layer and I use a white brush to make like little lines in the skin, or not in the skin, but in the hair. You can do that as well to stylize your hair to make it more personalized, but I just wanted to show you that real quick. And then sometimes I forget to, or not forget, sometimes I purposely choose not to bring the ears above the hair, but that's an option. If you want to do that, you can do that. If you want to leave it in the back, you can definitely do that as well. And don't forget to shade your ears as well. Next, we're gonna go on to our tattoos. Now, this is optional, but I'm just showing you a tip to show you how I put the tattoos on our character. So as you can see, our tattoo has a white background. All you need to do is click the N and then scroll until you see either darker color or multiply, and this will erase the white background but keep your, tattoo design. And again, tattoos are optional. Again, our character is incarcerated, so it's matching with his character arc, or style I should say. And after I make the tattoo, I'm just gonna click the clipping mask and put it onto the neck so we don't see it on the jacket. And I'm gonna copy the same steps as well as putting a clipping mask only on the hand part, so again it's not ending up on the jacket, it's only ending up on the skin. Now, this is just another tip for our new artists and creators out there. You don't just want to throw on anything on your character because you like it. You want to put stuff on them that give them like character and make them more real. Like for example with Gerald, I make him wear a lot of long sleeve stuff and sweaters because he came from Africa. Sometimes he wears shorter stuff because he's into basketball, so he's gonna be sweating a lot. But make sure that you're putting stuff on your character that matches with who they are, and not just putting stuff on because you may see me do it. Now, as I'm editing the character, I'm just thinking about his storyline more, and I just added some shadows under his eyes because, he is going to be staying up a lot because he's in jail, and he stays up whether it's working out, doing whatever. They do have a curfew, but, if you're in prison, you're not gonna really be told what to do when it's sleep time, so he could be staying up reading books, writing letters to Susie, stuff like that. I'm just adding stuff to his character to give him more personality. Even with his lips, I'm just adding a little sheen to show that, okay, Brody is not out here with chapped lips, he's taking care of himself a little. Even though he's in jail, he is still trying to do his best to take care of himself. So now I'm just gonna change his eye color because I noticed that him and Susie, they have the same eye color. I want the brother to look more like the mom, so I just took away the saturation and made his eyes a little darker, so now it's like the mom. And after that, I'm just gonna use a hair brush and I'm just gonna make little hairs on his chin. I already did his mustache just a little, but in jail, he kind of like shaves his face to have like a clean look. So I just didn't want him to have like a rugged look because in the beginning, I was gonna give him long hair, but then I realized, okay, they do have like shavers and stuff like that for the prisoners. So yeah, I just gave him a little bit of hair on his face. After I did that, then you can also add accessories to make your outfit a little more personalized. I'm not gonna make him like super iced out because he's gonna be like just coming out of jail, so he's not gonna have like all this fresh clothes on, but you know, a simple chain will do. I feel like that's gonna be affordable for anyone, so I just gave him a little chain. And to make it look like it's a part of the outfit, I just shaded it so it can look like it's under his little collar of his jacket. Then I'm gonna go to this earring. I found this on Google. I'm just gonna cut it out and then place it on his ear. And to make it look like it's actually on the ear, you're gonna notice that I'm gonna put a little shadow underneath it in a minute to make it look like it's indented in his ear and it's not like flat. Right there, add the Gaussian blur, and boom. And yeah, I didn't want to add like too much jewelry because again, he just got released from jail, so he's not gonna have like all the freshest stuff. The last thing that I'm gonna do is add his eyebrows. You're gonna notice his hair is a little shorter. I just molded it with the liquify tool to make it look a little shorter, and I also added some tattoos on his face. Again, every tattoo has a meaning, so make sure you're always doing things that will look appropriate for your character. And I didn't show this scene, but all I did was add a little slice on his eyebrow because, you know, he's in prison, so he probably got in some fights. So you'll see in this next scene, I just added that off camera. And yeah, I'm done making Slater Sheep. His name is Slater Sheep. Everything is done. Oh, I also added some tattoos on his knuckle as well. And that's about it. That's how I make my guy characters. It's just like the girls, but you're just making a guy this time. And in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use a free app to do the same thing. You may not have every single tool that I have on Procreate, but you can still get the same desired effect as you would with Procreate. So let's go on to IbisArt. And this is just a little disclaimer. This was my first time using this app, so I may not have used every tool that I could to make this character the best that I could as I would on Procreate. Like for example, I didn't know where the liquify tool was, and that's my favorite tool to use. And I recently just found out as I'm recording that there is a liquify tool somewhere on this app. So don't feel bad if you don't like how our character on here looks. She still looks fine in my opinion, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But just as we did in the beginning, you're just going to get everything you want from your avatar base, the outfit, the hair, lips, eyes, etc. And don't forget about your little sizing chart. I don't want you to stress out too much about the sizing chart. If you don't want to get it out, then that's totally optional. I'll try to fit your character to the size that I feel like is appropriate. But as we started in the other tutorial, we're just going to cut the head and work from there. So another thing that I didn't notice up until I started recording this video is that there is a clipping mask tool, and I'm gonna circle it right now so you can see what button you click for the clipping mask, so the image on top only goes on the image below, like what I showed you with the eye tutorial on Procreate. Even if you didn't know where the clipping mask was, all you have to do is just erase the pupil part or the iris part, and make sure that it's only staying within the white section of the eye. Just going to continue and repeat what we did with the Procreate tutorial, but now we're going to go on IbisArt, and you're going to see I did the shading or the contouring the old way that I used to do, which is getting the darker color and using a smudge tool to blur it out. But if there's a blurring tool on IbisArt, then you can totally just blur it out and make your process so much simpler. But if they don't have that tool on here, then you can just use a smudge tool as you see me doing here, and just smudge everything out until everything blends in nice into the skin. Also, you're gonna notice I like to add the lashes. I know one of our Patreon members just asked me about, how to put the lashes on without it becoming blurred. You have to use a really large image first so that when you shrink it, it's not becoming so blurry. But if you don't have like a nice image and you shrink it and it gets blurry, what you would have to do is just draw the lashes. And here's just a little image at the side of me drawing in the lashes. I'm using a hairbrush. You can download a free brush on YouTube. I know they have a lot of tutorials to show you how to do that. But if you want me to do one, I can definitely show you guys. But it's fairly simple. I don't feel like I need to, but if you do need help, then I can definitely try to do one for you guys. But yeah, drawing lashes, it may not be as simple as you see me doing it on screen, but the more that you practice, the better that you'll get. So don't feel like you need to be like a super Picasso. Just have fun while you're doing all of this. This is not an art competition. Now, I noticed I forgot to mention this, but make sure you add your tails to all of your animal characters. I know I forgot to mention it with Slater that we just did, but I did add his tail outside of the video format. You didn't see me adding it, but I did add it in the latter end. But as you see, we're putting on the hair, and this is the part of the tutorial where I was like, man, I wish I knew where the liquify tool was, because I was having a very difficult time molding the hair to the head, and I ended up like erasing some parts so like we can see her actual face, but I wasn't using the actual liquify tool. It was more of a, like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like a masking tool or something. I know that's not the right name. Maybe it's a mesh tool. Whatever tool that it wasn't the actual liquify tool, and I wish I found it, but I did the best that I could with her hair. And it is gonna cover like her top eyelids in this video, but that's okay. She still looks decent. She just needed a little like pushback of her wig to make it look a little better, but I did the best that we could. And I'm just fixing up the clothes, adding some blue hair to the back, and cleaning up the shirt because there was a little bit of the brown hair showing. So yeah, I'm just doing the small finishing touches. And yeah, this is our girl Capri Cat. She's just a simple background character. I don't think I'm gonna give her a major role, but I just wanted to show you guys that it is possible to make your own baddies using IbisArt. You just gotta take a little bit more time and try to figure out how to use this app if you've never used it before. But if you're already a pro with this app, then you'll probably have a better character than I did. But yeah, these are our two characters, Capri and Slater, and I really had fun making these two characters, and hopefully you can make your own characters as well. So before we end our tutorial, I just want to head to the FunBlindBag website and let you know that our Baddie Haven Academy page is finally up and we have everything edited. I don't have the FunBlindBag wiki page up, but season 1 and 2 you can find it on this page. The photos and music, I'll try to edit that soon so you can get access to all of the songs. It's on Spotify, but I'll just add the link real quick on my website so you can have access to all the music whenever you want. But the Baddie Haven Academy, our year one students are finally in, and we have our yearbook finally finished. Now you'll notice from the background that this character that's reading this book, they're actually one of the main characters from the show. So definitely let me know, who do you think has access to this yearbook? And I'll just give you a little hint. They have the same phone case that you see right over there at the corner. And in the post-it note, they have some notes that may put you on to which character it is, but definitely take a look at the yearbook and look at everyone's hard work. I loved everyone's baddie, and I just want to say thank you so much for participating in our little school that I made for this universe. And if you scroll all the way to the end, there's 2 tutorials that you can watch so you can make your own baddie if you don't know how to. But I'm pretty sure you don't need a tutorial since you're watching this already. But yeah, that's everything that I have. I want to open up the school again, but I just need to work on getting more free time. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.